Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Core Premier Series. We have the Core Premier Series All-Star race here tonight. 9 drivers out there on track. They did the pre-qualifying, as you see there. You have Jimmy Covert, Dave Tilford, Matt Crockett, Tim Thompson, John Crane, Abhi Vishwasam, Dan Phelps, and James Molnix out there on the track. So 8 drivers in total trying to cover off the last 5 spots on the All-Star roster. We did it a little bit different this year. You got 1 outlap, came in into pit lane, no speed limit. You can go it as fast as you want to get that car in your box as quickly as you possibly can. And then the drivers came out, took 2 tires actually. You had to take 2 tires throughout that pit stop, but ended up getting it done. But we are getting ready to go green here for the All-Star race here tonight. Already you can see Jimmy Covert and Matt Crockett bumper to bumper, nose to tail, both running that orange CRN Premier Series scheme. Looks like Dave Tilford trying around the outside and try to make it 3 wide on Jimmy Covert, but not going to be able to do it. And as you see there, the lights come on these Kia Optimas, and we are 3 wide for the race lead. John Crane giving the bumper to the number 10 of Matt Crockett, who's going to inherit the lead from Jimmy Covert. And he's going to get a little bit high, wide, and handsome, almost hitting that wall. Jimmy Covert back down to the inside. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Maybe looking 4 wide as Medler thought about taking it 4 wide there. Oh, it's going to get spicy and dicey as the 12 of David Tilford got sandwiched there between, I believe, that is Tim Thompson, that number 05 machine. And so far, so good. It's only 20 laps out here tonight. Got to make a mandatory pit stop on lap 11 as Matt Crockett all over the back bumper of that number 14 of Jimmy Covert, still 3 wide with John Crane, the 94 James Molyneux. And it looks like now they're going to fan out to 3 wide towards the front as Abhi Vishwasam trying to make some noise up here. Not a big oval guy, but trying to stunt his stuff right now. Sitting P number 3 and looking good. Tim Thompson on the outside of James Molyneux trying to get that run from Jimmy Covert, but just not able to get to his rear quarter panel. Matt Crockett blocking Abhi Vishwasam all the way down to the inside lane. Almost put him into the grass. Abhi Vishwasam says, you know what, I'm not going to back down from this challenge. Move Abhi Vishwasam all the way up to the point on lap number 3. Remember, only 5 spots to take the next drivers into the... Oh, James Molyneux gets... Oh, no. Immediate off of that. We're going to have to go back and watch this as James Molyneux gets right reared by Jimmy Covert. Just a bunch of netcode, and these 2 drivers go up in the air. Houston, we have liftoff. Hopefully these drivers... Well, I know Jimmy Covert's not in VR, but I don't know about Tim Thompson or James Molyneux, because that was a tough break. And I think we got to watch it from the number 12's perspective. As let me find Mr. Dave Tilford here. And we're actually going to watch it from the in-car view just to see what he sees. See there, James Molyneux trying to make it 3 wide. Just got hooked together with Jimmy. And there you have it. Everybody's flipping over on top of him. He's good to go. And then right in front of him Oh, Dave Tilford going underneath James Molyneux and was able to keep that car clean. But it's our first caution of the night, and looks like Jimmy Covert had to tow into pit lane. Molyneux was able to drive his car into the pits. But I want to say thank you to all of our subscribers who have subscribed, liked, shared, commented. Everybody out there that likes what CRN puts on, whether it's for Chop Shop, GT League, Redline Racing, Core Racing, Lucky Dogs Racing, and Smoky Mountain Motorsports Dirt League. We want to say thank you for tuning in week in and week out to get these streams where they are. I want to give a big shout out to Carl Handelberg for allowing me to do the Core Premier Series. The Core Premier Series broadcasts. I want to say thank you to them. Thank you to the admins of Core Racing for allowing me to do so. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to CRN, as there's a bunch of racing coming in the next month over here, pretty much booked all throughout the whole week. So you're always going to have something on a CRN to watch. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys hit that little bell notification, turn on all notifications so you guys don't miss a single beat on a CRN. Avi Vishwasam with the race lead here, as he was able to miss all of that lap 3 melee and is able to maintain the lead. So far, your running order is Avi Vishwasam in P number 1. Matt Crockett in second. John Crane in third. David Tilford going to be in P number 4. Fifth will be Dan Phelps. Sixth will be James Molyneux. Tim Thompson and Jimmy Covert are in pit lane, as caution laps do not count here. So luckily for Jimmy and Tim Thompson, they are not going to lose any laps, as caution laps do not count here. So that's always a good thing, especially with it being an all-star race. No points on the line, just pretty much bragging rights on who gets to win the all-star race. 5 drivers make it, 3 go home. Out of everybody that is racing here tonight, let me know down in the comment section who you guys got to win the pre-qualifier, as the actual all-star race is going to be an absolute cahoot, and it's definitely going to be fun to watch. iRacing pace car going down into pit lane, and we're getting ready to start the racing once again. Barney with the green flag in his hand. We are back to racing. Avi Vishwasam getting a good jump on the field into turn number 1 and 2. And you see it there. Pretty much a Auto Club snake, as some would say, as everybody is single file now pretty much throughout the whole field. And it looks like Dave Tilford trying to get alongside of the number 10 of Matt Crockett, just not able to do so, as he is there. He's going to take it really wide. He's going to be the only car on that outside. Can he make it work? Dan Phelps powering back on the inside of Dave Tilford. As they're going to be 3 wide, Matt Crockett all the way down to the apron. Abhi Vishwasam in the middle. John Crane on the outside. A little bit of contact between Abhi and John Crane, able to keep it straight. And Dan Phelps, instead of taking that run that he had, he's going to back up a little bit, let Abhi get his little bit of pushing in. And I seen it in practice. You do not want to push the pusher. It's like a typical plate track in a stock car. As we are 3 wide. Oh, Dan Phelps down through the grass. Abhi Vishwasam and Dan Phelps getting together there. You can see the damage on the number 08 machine. I think Abhi just misjudged the distance between him and the 85. As the 08 is going to take him 3 wide again. James Molyneux in the middle. Matt Crockett on the outside. Matt Crockett is going to fall back in line with the number 08. And the 08 of Abhi Vishwasam move his way up to P number 2 as they are still 3 wide going across the line. They were just 4 wide there. You've seen that. Matt Crockett went from the top all the way down to the inside. James Molyneux and Abhi Vishwasam making a little bit of contact. There goes Abhi. Heart of the wall. Abhi Vishwasam. Heart of the outside wall, just got hooked again, kind of like what happened earlier. And we're going to go back to a CRN replay. Looking at it here, 3 wide, off of the corner, and oh yeah, just misjudged it. Luckily, nobody else was involved. And Abhi Vishwasam able to get that car back on the roll and get it off the track. And to get that car back down to the pit lane, use that fast repair. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their Sunday. As we are 8 laps out of 20. Looking down at the comments, Barry, all set here as always. Good luck, drivers. Let's go, Kevin Hollywood Foster. Did the wildfires affect iRacing 2? Looks hazy. It is actually very hazy for this race. I believe that's how Carl had it set up, just to give these drivers just a little bit of help here. Sorry about that. Had to get that shut off for everybody. But looks like everybody is going down to pit lane except for Dave Tilford and Dave Tilford actually. He will be the race leader with Jimmy Covert right behind him, as it's stating that Abhi is the leader. So maybe Abhi is the leader. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. But, you know, it all happens for a reason. No. It is going to be Dave Tilford with the race lead. Jimmy Covert in P number 2. Tim Thompson in 3rd. Abhi Vishwasam in 4th. John Crane in 5th. Matt Crockett in 6th. You got Dan Phelps in 7th in pit lane, along with James Molyneux in a pit lane as well. Remember, only 5 of these drivers get to make it to the feature presentation of this race. As let's see here. Nonetheless, pace car is in. Or not in. Pace lights are off. Pace car is going to go down in the pit lane for the next time by. It's going to be Dave Tilford and Jimmy Covert on the front row. Going to go ahead and bring in a special guest. And there we go, finally. Going to go ahead and bring in a special guest. It's going to be the number 72, Caleb Collins. As he didn't have to run the pre-qualifying race. You already made your way in with being a winner in season number 9. And already back to Green Flag Racing, Dave Tilford with an amazing jump on Jimmy Covert. Jimmy Covert's going to go back down to P number 3. He's going to fall in line with, it looks like, Tim Thompson.
Yeah, and it won't take them very long, Dylan, to draft up together. I'm glad, I don't know about you, but I'm glad I didn't have to run the open here. This makes me even more thankful to have a win in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it does happen, especially with the front-wheel drive cars around Auto Club. You're going to see a lot of high speeds. I noticed in the practice you couldn't push the pusher, and it's basically how I described it is just a big old plate track, essentially. You know, you put a stock car on a plate track, you can't push the pusher necessarily. You can get away with it here and there, but how bad is pushing the pusher with these Kia Optimas?
If I would say, imagine the next gen car pushing the pusher is like a 5 out of 10. These, in the one time that Chris and I attempted it, was a 10 out of 10 for bad, do not do. And I don't know if that's bumper geometry or what it was, as it looks like they were thinking about going 4 wide there. The big thing with these is just they do not turn at all, which you come to expect with front-wheel drive car. You kind of know that going into it, but good grief, they don't turn. You have to let out of the gas so much just to make it around the turns in these things.
Yeah, as we've seen there, it looks like the 85 of Dan Phelps got all the way out to the race lead. They had a little bit of a mix-up there. Dave Tilford went down below the yellow line, and a little bit of beating and banging between the 11 and the 85, who's already went to the moon earlier in this race. Same with Jimmy Covert, as he has fallen all the way back. And I believe these guys are going to make their scheduled pit stop at a lap 11, which they do so for drivers electing to go down pit lane.
Yeah, got to take a 4-tire green flag stop here in this second half of the race, or I guess last 3/4 of the race technically, or something like that. I don't know. This one is 20 laps. Okay, so second half of the race. I'll be interested to see when these guys pit, because you would think it would be a big advantage that the guys that pitted on this lap can all come out same time and line up and stay in line. They should make time just by pure numbers, and it sounds like John Crane is planning to come this time at least.
Yeah, see, especially with it being the being Auto Club, you kind of want to have that drafting help as Abhi Vishwasam and Tim Thompson stay out. Tim Thompson was able to get that lap led. They're going to put these drivers a lap down. Abhi and Tim get together.
Easy.
And there's another product of these cars will not turn.
Exactly.
As Abhi got really tight going through turn number 1 and 2. And if I'm Tim, I just follow behind Abhi, use that draft, pull away, because now you got to cover that cutoff that these drivers have already taken. If I was Abhi and Tim, I'd be going in right now, cover that spread that they're doing as Abhi goes into pit lane. This time, the only driver left out there is Tim Thompson, as he's going to put the whole field one lap down. And it's only a matter of time to see when Mr. Tim Thompson goes into pit lane.
Yeah, Dylan, I don't know how much you got to practice in these things during practice, but I did notice coming down the pits, this car does have a pit road speed limiter. However, it's a little bit off. I don't know if it's because of updates or whatever it was, but at least mine was about 3 miles an hour too fast. So the first time I came into pit, just practicing, turned on the pit road speed limiter and still got a black flag for speeding. So you really got to pay close attention here whenever you do come to pit. But I think it's definitely going to be beneficial here pitting with a pack like this. I think you'll see these guys that pit together come out on top whenever it all cycles through.
Yes, that's pretty much going to be the name of the game, as everybody is one lap down except for Tim Thompson. He's got a little bit of the draft from Dan Phelps, so that's going to help him pull away even further from Matt Crockett. But if I'm Tim Thompson, I'd be going into pit lane right about now, just to get out there.
The thing that's going to help him out, though, is those 4 cars really haven't done a great job of organizing. You see the 11 and the 12 back there, they're drafting together, but they're not bump drafting, and they're kind of catching up to Abhi here a little bit. Looks like they're going to go ahead and pass him probably here to the inside, but these guys really need to get formed up if they're going to take full advantage of Tim pitting now on this lap.
Yeah, Tim is in pit lane, and the car that will presume the lead will be Matt Crockett. But can he get all the way back around before Tim Thompson gets out of pit lane? Keeping an eye on that pit road, and so far it looks like Tim Thompson has not moved just yet. So the race lead will go back to Matt Crockett as he is coming around to take the lead back. And now maybe, did Tim have a pit road speeding penalty? Now he's finally leaving, so maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know how long the pit stops take, so that's definitely going to be something to watch. Obviously, with the Kia Optimas, it's just like a stock car. It does the rights, does the lefts. It's not jack up the whole front and then put it back down, jack up the rear. It does it just like NASCAR style, 2 tires at a time. As Dave Tilford says, screw the draft, I'm going to the outside. And now you got John Crane and Abhi Vishwasam battling here. Bump drafting just to see if they can take that 1.9 second gap and shred it down, but they have 3 laps to do it, and only 5 drivers make the cutoff.
Well, that's a good point you bring up there. These guys might just be, I'm sure they're that was a little sketchy there with John Crane and a B, but they might just be content. It wouldn't do them any harm to just kind of ride here. Yeah, you want to catch Crockett and try to do that, but you're in a transfer spot, and Jimmy back there is in 5th. So if the top 5 transfer, you would think that those guys are pretty content to ride where they're at. And certainly the strategy hasn't worked out in Tim's favor at this point. Tim Thompson hoping for a caution. Nearly got one there with the 08 and the 11 a lap ago.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. I can tell just by watching these drivers go around this track, it looks like a pain in the rear to try and keep that front end of that Kia on the back bumper of the car in front of you. And just when you were doing your practice, how hard really was it trying to keep that car squared up on that back bumper?
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world. It wasn't terrible especially on the backstretch, and you can see that Crane and Abby are doing it just fine. But you definitely don't even try it in the corners. And like you said earlier, next to impossible to try to get three cars linked up together and try to be pushing somebody while they're also linked up with the car in front of them. It just, yeah, they're not very good at squaring up on bumper to bumper at all. But you can see they're making a little bit of time. It looks like they're slowly catching Crockett, but running out of time here, I think.
Yeah, get ready to come up to the final lap. There you see it. Crockett is trying to break that draft as much as he can. And if I'm Crockett, if they catch me, just let them by. I mean, just like you said, you're in a transfer spot. There's no need to block or anything like that and take yourself out of contention. And
Dylan, you know what I'm watching back here? Tim Thompson has caught up to the 14, and Tim just passed Jimmy.
Yeah, look at it back at that now. He has, in fact, passed him. But it's going to be up here because it's a four-way battle for the race lead. Matt Crockett on the outside, Abhi Vishwasam down on the inside. He's going to bump him out of the way. And Abhi Vishwasam gets the win at the pre-qualifier. I think that's Abhi. I think that's his first oval win.
That could be, and it looks like Tim is going to manage to stay ahead of Jimmy. I don't know how he made up all that time. But Tim is coming to the stripe, and he's in fifth.
Yeah, he's going to be finishing P number 5 with Jimmy Covert in 6th, Dan Phelps in 7th, and James Molyneux is going to round out your 8-car field that was out here racing. And, we got to bring in the top 3. What better place to do it than, bring in the top 3 while they get ready for the next session to go up for the actual All-Star race. We definitely got to bring in this top 3
Let's do it. A race that exciting? Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely have to. Let me go ahead and dial up Mr. Matt Crockett here. See if I can't just find him. There he is. Mr. Crockett, this is Dylan and Caleb into the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. You got me loud and clear?
All right, yes, sir. I got you. That was an exciting race, too, the finish there. I know you guys wanted to make it absolutely amazing finish. You ended up doing that. What was your plan with the pitting there?
I knew I was going to be short on fuel, so on lap 8, that caution that came out, I came in and got a few gallons of fuel just to help me, just in case the yellow came out again. But basically just topped off there and waited till the pits opened past halfway and came in, got 4, and rock and rolled it out.
Yeah, you guys put on one hell of a battle, like I said. And did you think that they could make up all that time coming to the white flag, or were you just like, hey, I'm still in the transfer spot. If they want the win, they can have it?
Yeah, I saw him catching me. But I saw that Dan was ahead of me, and I was like, oh, please burp the throttle. I wanted to ask him if he would help out, but I didn't want to be that type of person. So, they caught me. Whatever happened, I didn't want to take us all out, so I kind of fought a little bit, but in the all, didn't want to wipe everybody out, so just let them have it.
Exactly. Well, you made it to the All-Star race, so hopefully you get ready for that, and hopefully we get to see the exact same thing happen. But before I let you get out of here, Crockett, is there anybody you want to give a shout-out to?
Yeah, shout out to my wife, my kid, my family watching at home. Liquid Death, Utah Foster Care, Alpine Stars. Everybody watching, make sure to click that like button, that thumbs up button, and do not forget to hit that subscribe. Also, if you have the ability to, please comment. Helps out CRN big time. And thank you guys as well up in the booth.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Crockett. We're going to go ahead and let you get back over there. Get ready for the next session. We'll be talking to you a little bit later.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's going to be our third place finisher. We're going to go ahead and move up to our second place finisher. And John Crane, this is Caleb and Dylan in the booth. Got a copy.
Yes, I do. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Caleb, I'm going to go ahead and let you take away with the second place finisher here tonight.
Well, I know it kind of started out as a snooze fest a little bit there, John, but y'all sure turned it into an exciting race. What were you, did you have a strategy there coming off of that last pit stop, or what were you, did it work out just how you planned it?
Coming off that last pit stop, I didn't really have a strategy. I knew I was in the top 3 coming to pit road, and I knew I was by myself, so I was hoping to pick somebody up to draft with, and I saw Abby was in front of me, and I was just like, well, I know Abby doesn't have a win in core yet, so maybe I can push him to his first win, and maybe we can track down this leader. I think it was, 7 laps that pushed him really, really hard. He got squirrely a couple times, but, we were able to come away with it.
Yeah, it worked out to a T there. So now that, and I know we're fixing to be competitors in the next race, but is there any advice you want to throw my way since I haven't gotten to practice under race conditions here?
It's just hoping you get that draft. That's all you're looking for, really, and hopefully you can come up with somebody that'll be willing to push you a little hard.
So is that talking about getting that draft and not having one when you came out of the pits? Is that going to have some effect on how you run the second race? Or are you going to try to find a dancing partner to come down to the pits with?
Yeah, I might try to come down with a group of cars next time. I thought maybe I was going to pull somebody with me by announcing I was going to come a little early, but nobody wanted to come with me, so they wanted all to lead a lap. I get it. I understand.
Jerks, the bunch of them. Don't tell them I said that. No, looking forward to racing with you in the next one, John, and thanks for putting on a show. You got anybody you want to thank before we let you out of here?
Just my friends and some of my family members. I know I got a bunch of new people that are watching on my Discord as well. Or not my Discord, but my Twitch. A bunch of new coworkers up at Live Nation. So I want to shout out to them, say hi, see you guys tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you here in a few minutes, and hopefully we can both be in that podium before this thing's over with.
Yeah, hopefully we're both in the chat next go around.
All right, that's going to be our second place finisher of John Crane. But now we're going to talk to the man that has won his first Core Racing League Premier Series race. And it's not a road course, it's not dirt, it's not jumpy trucks, but it's an oval. Abby, this is Dylan and Caleb in the booth. Got a copy.
Yeah, hey guys. Yep, my first win. I just was notified. I didn't know if it qualified as my first win, but yay, I'm here.
Hey, you know what? You only led, I believe, a couple laps, but you led the most important one. That's going to be the one on lap number 20. And,
Yep.
You got it done. You finally did it. I knew you had it in you. We ran against each other in the 87s in the Core Premier Series whenever I did run the Premier Series. And just finally getting to watch you break through and get that first win up here for Core Racing Premier Series. It's got to feel pretty good, though, going into that actual All-Star race.
Yeah, it does. Obviously, the All-Star race has a lot more All-Stars that are going to show up, so I am prepared for a reality check. But the last race was super. I mean, I actually didn't realize I was in second place. My race labs kept reporting me as in fourth place. So I was really fighting for third place. And it turns out I actually fought for first place.
Sometimes,
awesome.
sometimes it does work out. I mean,
I was thinking, I'm so bad that people are cheering me on from fourth place to third place. I'm like, that's how bad I am. People are actually cheering me on for that, but it turns out it was for the win.
well, I'll be looking for the video on Facebook later from your point of view on that. It's always good to get on Facebook and see you post how you do without throughout the week over here at core, and I'm super proud of you, Abby. You come a long way, especially
you.
for an oval guy like myself, and finally seeing you in an oval race, getting that first win. It's bittersweet for you. Now, there's only one more task at hand. And your driver coach.
No, if you're thinking it's dirt, no, please don't say it.
No.
Okay,
Your
okay.
driver coach.
No, let's not.
Your driver coach, Mr. Chris Hamilton, always has the great words of advice: go fast, turn left.
Yes.
And that's exactly what's going to end up happening here tonight.
It is. There's going to be a lot of going fast, got a lot of going left. If you're going right at any given point, it's probably because somebody went left too hard on you. So I'm just prepared for it all. I just know how these races go when the real superstars are in there. The guys that win the Premier Series races, I just can't keep up with those guys. So when they show up, I typically tend to take a backseat to them, let them kind of run fast for a while. I follow them, and if I have a shot in the end, I'll take it. But they're usually too quick for me. But hey, I have my first win, so maybe on that confidence note, I should go after it.
Yeah, see? Exactly. Confidence is key. You got it, Abby. I believe in you. We'll be voting for it. Well, not voting, but we'll be cheering you on throughout the next race, and we'll be keeping a close eye on you, too. So before I let you get on out of here, Abby, is there anybody you want to give a shout-out to? Oh, that number 08
you
machine.
guys, thanks for all the kudos and everything like that, all the coaching over the years. Of course, Dylan, you've been really helpful in oval. If not, I wouldn't even be in the top 10 if it wasn't for a lot of the coaching you've done. And Caleb has been a great person to race with, and kind of fun guy to just generally shoot the shit with. So anyway, thanks a lot.
Swear jar.
Do I need to add somebody to the swear jar? Just tell me what I need to put.
You can make it out to Caleb Collins.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds like the wrong jar to be putting the money.
Don't worry about it.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, Abby, we're going to go ahead and let you get ready for the next race, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of that one, too.
Sounds good.
All right, that's going to do it for the pre-qualifier. We're going to go ahead and take a little short commercial break, get over to the next session, and we'll be right back here at Auto Club for the actual all-star race here tonight. It's been an absolute blast. Caleb, thank you again for coming up here in the broadcast booth for like the last 11 laps. But nonetheless, it was still fun. Good luck in your race, sir, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again as well.
Hope so. Yeah. Thanks for bringing me up here. It was better than sitting there and talking to myself. So appreciate it.
All right, Caleb. Well, we're going to go ahead and cut over to a commercial break, and we'll be right back. And we are back here tonight for the All-Star race, the actual All-Star race. 16 drivers out on the track here tonight instead of 8. The 5 have moved on. And then now we're going to see all of these drivers do battle out here. There's going to be a competition caution on the lap number 12. And then in the second part of the race, every driver has to make a mandatory green flag pit stop under green. It's got to be 4 tires and fuel. So you're going to have to be watching out for that, as these drivers have to make that pit stop. If they don't make the pit stop, then obviously their position will not count at the end of the race. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the grid for the All-Star race here tonight. It's going to be Carl Handwerk on the front row with Mark Parkhurst. Third will be Paul Owens. Fourth will be Dane Simpson. Running out your top 5 will be Chris Hamilton. 6th will be Caleb Collins. 7th, Brandon Mettler. 8th, Kevin Foster. 9th, Paul Butler. And running out your top 10 will be John Nobinger. 11th, the All-Star Open or pre-qualifier winner will be Abhi Vishwasam in P number 11. John Crane in 12th, Matt Crockett in 13th, Dave Tilford in 14th, Tim Thompson in 15th, and rounding out your 16-car field will be Jimmy Covert. So it was the top 6 that made it to the race, as Nick Nickerson was not able to make it to the race here tonight. So that moves up 6 drivers to the race start. If you guys have a favorite driver that you guys are voting for to win tonight's race, make sure you guys drop them down in the comment section. Let me know who you guys got. Obviously, the favorites are going to be Carl Handwerk or Kevin Foster. It could even also be Mark Parkhurst, the Season 9 champion for Core Premier Series. He's starting P number 2 on the outside of front row, and is going to be a hell of a battle between all of these drivers. See everybody taking their time going down the backstretch in these Kias. And it's going to be a fun show to be put on here tonight. High speed action throughout this race. We're going to get that track map up here for you guys out there in the broadcast chat. Pace car going to dip off of the racing line this time by Carl Handwerk. Will have the go-go button to start things off here tonight. Can't go until they drop the green flag, and there it is. Going into turn number 1 is going to be side by side all the way throughout the pack. It looked like John Crane did not get a good start going into turn number 1. He's going to drop all the way to the back. And you see them all getting down by that digger cam as close as they possibly can. Going to fan out 3-4 wide, coming off turn number 2. Going into the backstretch, all you see is headlights in just despair. Don't know where you want to run going into turn number 3. It looks like Mr. I don't know who that is. Maybe Caleb Collins? No, Mark Parkhurst in that deep blue, number 23, hanging it all the way out to that outside. Dane Simpson in that pink and blue machine down below the yellow line. Going to be 3 wide for the race lead. Maybe 4 wide with Mark Parkhurst. No, they're going to keep it 3 wide. But it's going to be Dane Simpson with the race lead. And here comes Paul Owens on the outside of Carl Handwerk. Going to kind of try to pinch him down. Not going to be able to, as Carl got a little bit tight, had to back out of the throttle just a little bit. And here is where Dane is going to make that number 96 as wide as he possibly can. Going to chop off the run from the 18 of Carl Handwerk. And Dane Simpson still going to be your race leader, is looking through the back. Kevin Foster riding around P number 7. Still 3 wide of the 72 and 77 get together. Going it down the front stretch. And everybody is scattering around trying to find their way through. Going to go ahead and watch from a gyro cam of the number 08 of Abhi Vishwasam, just showing you what he sees going throughout these corners. And you see 2 cars down on the inside, way down on the inside. You got 1 car down to the inside of Abhi Vishwasam. That's going to be Matt Crockett of the number 10 Red Machine, trying to get his way back up to the front. And it's not where you want to be, because obviously you don't want to be the race leader. You kind of want to be 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, anywhere in this field, as we are already on lap 4 out of 40. Like I said earlier, you got a competition caution at the end of lap 12, and then the back half of the race, you're going to have to make that pit stop, 4 tires, and you can go back to racing. Currently 3 wide, Matt Crockett all the way down below the yellow line, or the white line, trying to get as much as he possibly can off this racetrack. Possibly going to be looking 4 wide, not going to be able to get there, as everybody is fanning out to go across the start finish line. Looking at all of these drivers fanned out. Matt Crockett, the only car down on the inside, as they are 4 wide now. The 23, the 44, the 15, the 8, all 4 wide going down the backstretch. This could have spelled disaster, as they're going to be able to keep it clean. Going to dip back down to 3 wide. They are 3 wide, 3 to 4 rows back. Look at about 4 wide again. Mark Parkhurst up through the middle. Carl Handwer going to take it all the way down to the inside. Mark Parkhurst making that outside lane work. He's going to jump up in front of Paul Jelly Owens and move Mark Parkhurst up to the race lead. But he's not clear of other drivers, as they are 3 wide for the race lead right now. Paul Butler in the middle, Carl Handwerk down on the inside, and you got Mark Parkhurst with a big shot from the number 54 of Paul Owens on that outside. Now you have Parkhurst, Owens, Foster, Caleb Collins, and Brandon Metler on that outside, and then just a little bit further back, you have Tim Thompson and John Crane. Now that 3rd lane has kind of dwindled down. They're going to be side by side now, 2 wide. And they are right back to that 3 wide action. Mark Parker's down to the inside, going to cover off that inside from Paul Butler. Season 9 champion going to work with Carl Handwerk, as we are already 7 laps into this race, and these drivers are driving like it's the last lap, as Dane Simpson almost gets a little bit tight coming off the quarter. Paul Owens is going to scrape the wall coming off turn number 4. Mark Parkhurst will lead that lap, still 3 wide for P number 2. Through turns 1 and 2. Now they're going to be 3 wide. Dane Simpson had to back out of that. Did not want to be 4 wide with Carl Handwerk, as he was covering that off. Looks like the 64 of Chris Hamilton down on the inside with Brandon Metler, trying to make some kind of run happen. And last year's All-Star race winner, Nick Nickerson, is not in the field. But there's still going to be 3 wide. Paul Butler, Paul Owens, Carl Handwerk, 3 wide for the race lead. Still going to be 3 wide, looking about 4 wide, as well as Dane Simpson gets a great run down. Pretty much half of his car underneath that yellow line, that white line. Mark Parkhurst and Paul Butler get together, able to keep it straight as they are 3 wide in front. And if you're a driver in the back, it's got to be scary going through this big 5-lane racetrack. You can fit about 6 cars in a line. You can probably go 6 wide, maybe 7, depending on what car you're racing. Looking at John Nobinger as he was able to take the lead. Going to move on up back here to Jimmy Covert. He's running about mid-pack with Avi Vishwasam right in front of him. So Avi Vishwasam's got a lot of momentum on his side with that race win. Can he make his way to the front? But right now, he knows it's a long race, just wants to keep it as clean as he can. And he wants to be there at the end of this. Lap number 11 out of 40. And pretty much throw a blanket over the top 16 and see which car comes out first. That's pretty much how I can describe this pack. Carl Hedberg to the point now. Now he's got to make that number 18 as wide as he possibly can. But here comes the 05 or the 23 and the 54 on the outside. 18 going to go all the way down to the inside, help pull John Nobinger up with him. Now he's going to slide up in front of Paul Butler. He's going to bring Paul Butler with him now. So Carl Hedberg able to get the runs that he needs. He's going to drop all the way down to the inside lane and pull that inside lane up. But it's not going to work this time as Paul Butler got to the outside of Carl Hedberg. That's going to force him down to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the stage finish. Who's going to get it? 3 wide for the stage win. Paul Owens, Carl Hedberg, and Paul Butler. For it all, it's going to be Owens at the line. So Owens able to get the segment 1 win. And oh, Paul Butler gets spun, collecting other drivers. Oh, Caleb Collins gets involved. As we're going to go ahead and slow this on down. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Paul Butler just let off the throttle and got on the brake. We're going to go ahead and take a look back, and we'll look at it from Avi Vishwasam's point. Get it on the chopper here. Oh, we'll do chase. So no brakes, just let off, and that'll do it there. Paul Butler going to come right back up in front of Caleb Collins. Caleb Collins nowhere to go. Who did Caleb Collins end up getting as well? Oh, that's Tim Thompson. Tim Thompson got tangled up in it. And you see everybody kind of trying to dodge the melee. A lot of hurt race cars there. So these drivers are going to catch up to the pace car. Everybody going to go down into pit lane, take a set of tires if they want. Use their fast repair if they got them. As yes, everybody's going to come down pit lane, top off on some fuel. You heard it earlier. Caleb said he put it on his pit limiter, and he was speeding into pit lane. So that's something that everybody's going to have to watch. Caution laps do count. So we're going to see what Paul Owens decides to do here as the 23 overshot his pit box. So it's going to be fuel only for the number 15. The 77 in and out. I'm thinking Paul Owens might have had a speeding penalty. But it's going to be Brandon Mettler with the race lead. Second will be Paul Butler, as he was able to get that damaged. No, he did not fix his damage. So maybe he is holding on to that fast repair for later in the race, as he's going to come down pit lane this time by. As Paul Owens has taken it behind the wall. And he is not going to be able to finish this race. Paul Butler going to sit in pit lane and get as much of this damage fixed as he possibly can. While he's doing that, we're going to go ahead and go back up here to the race leader. It's going to be Brandon Mettler. And then number 15. As pace lights are off, we're going to go back to racing. Going it down the backstretch. Can Paul Butler make it back to these drivers? It's going to be a tough task at hand. He may just Kyle Busch the field. Brandon Mettler with the go-go button here, and we are back to racing. He's going to get a nice jump on the number 8 of Kevin Hollywood Foster, the 77. Not able to catch back up. The 8 and the 18 going to make a little bit of contact, but keep their car straight. And it's going to be a good race off of turn number 2. See them all whizzing by nice and fast. Down into turn number 3, Carl Hanover going to stick his nose through the middle. And he's going to get tight and drift up to the outside lane towards Kevin Foster. You see there, a lot of them using that wall to their advantage. Is Carl Hanover getting a nice push from the number 8 that goes back outside. And Carl Hanover saying, come on, man, push me. I don't want to fall all the way back. Just push me. That he doesn't do. And then now Carl Hanover can get back up in front of Kevin Hollywood Foster. And to see what he can do. Three wide for P number 4. The 44, the 05, and the 8, all 3 wide. Now the 44, 05, and 18 are a 3 wide now. And now that we got past that first segment or stage, these drivers are going to start driving a little bit more different now. Some of them don't have a faster pair left, so they're going to have to drive a little bit more cautious. I am not sure exactly how many laps these drivers can get on a tank of fuel, but 4 wide. Oh, John Crane not giving an inch to Tim Thompson. As Tim Thompson is going to be able to pull away from the number 11. The 18 is going to be out on the outside by himself. Avi Vishwavasan back there just kind of riding, taking his time. Knows it's a long race. So he's saying, don't count me out. I could be there in a jiffy. Kevin Foster using that outside to his advantage. 4 wide. Dave Tilford in the middle. Going to back it down to 3 wide. As that almost got scary really quick. Carl Hedberg used a little bit of side draft on the number 11 to reel him in. Didn't think that these cars had much side draft, but it looks like they do. As Carl Hedberg moves himself up to number 3. Oh, John Crane got a little. His car got a little upset. Had to drop down below the yellow-blue line. And now everybody is going around Carl Hedberg. Kevin Foster on the outside. Move Kevin Foster to the race lead. Mark Parker is going to try to chop down in front of Carl Hedberg's nose. He's going to be able to get there. So he pushed Kevin Hollywood Foster all the way up to the race lead. And now he leaves Kevin Foster. Kevin Foster has the 64 Chris Hamilton on his back bumper. Looks like Mark Parkhurst is leaving a lane open for Carl Hedberg down on that inside. That's where your battle for the race lead is going to be. All these drivers doing what they can do to keep it off of each other. As Brandon Mettler coming up here through the field. He's up 5 positions from where he has started. As they are 3 wide. Jimmy Cover making his name known up here sitting in P number 3, looking for P number 2. Now looking for the race lead for the first time here tonight. Jimmy Covert with John Crane following to the outside. Dane Simpson got out of the draft there for a second, thought that he could possibly make a 3 wide move, wasn't able to get there. Backed out of it, fell back in line. But it's going to be Carl Hedberg and Jimmy Covert side by side. Jimmy Covert all the way up, and there we go. We have green flag pit stops already starting. You got 4 drivers down into pit lane this time by. Hurried up, got those cars wound back down to the pace speed. But it's going to be Jimmy Covert leading that lap. John Crane all over his back bumper. Then you have Kevin Hollywood Foster with Chris Hamilton on that outside. Everybody else down on the inside. Jimmy Covert going all the way down, getting in front, and see if anybody is takers here. The 10 of Matt Crockett will be taking his pit stop this time by. Mark Parkhurst with the race lead. But not anymore, as he has gotten passed by Chris Hamilton and Kevin Foster. Jimmy Culver down on the inside yet again. Way down below the white line. He may be coming in this time by. Same with John Crane. And it looks like Tim Thompson all in the pit lane this time. So there's your 3 that have pit. Now it's up to these 5 drivers up here to get their pit stop in. Well, actually 6 drivers. Yeah, 6 drivers. John Nobinger trying to use Caleb Collins to his advantage. Abhi Vishwasam lets Caleb Collins go on by. And Abhi Vishwasam going to go down into pit lane this time by with Mark Parkhurst. So Abhi Vishwasam going in with those drivers. Now there's 4 drivers left to make a pit stop. Looking at it now, Carl Handwerk on the outside. Can't get down in front of Dave Tilford. That's what they need to do. They need to form that strong line. And they can catch the race leaders who are not that far ahead. Ooh, Dane Simpson, a little bit tight. But going to be able to hold it off. Looks like Mark Parker still in the pit lane coming out. Same with Abhi Vishwasam. Abhi Vishwasam going to be able to beat Mark Parkhurst out of pit lane. Chris Hamilton, Caleb Collins, Kevin Hollywood Foster, and John Nobinger still left to pit. And they have formed the greatest line that I have seen these drivers do. And there we go. The 8 signaling he's going into pit lane. 64, 72. All 4 of these drivers going into pit lane this time by. And they stagger themselves. That makes a ton of difference. Staggering yourself like that just in case somebody does miss their braking point. They don't run in the back of them. So with pit lane being as long as it is, getting into your box, getting stopped is going to be a tough task at hand. See everybody taking 4 tires here, looking at it now. And Paul Butler is going to get his lap back. 4 tires for everybody and fuel. As fuel is taking them even longer. Everybody going to be able to come back out maybe to beat the pace car. But no, looks like Caleb Collins and the 64 of Chris Hamilton may have had a pit penalty there, as John Nobinger coming out, but he's going to lose the race lead to David Tilford. And he's got a quick Carl Handwerk, Dane Simpson, and Matt Crockett behind him. John Nobinger, though, quickly got up on the track, and he's going to have some draft from the number 10 of Matt Crockett. Dane Simpson sitting P number 3, just following behind Carl Handwerk and Dave Tilford. 4-car battle as of right now. Matt Crockett looking down to the inside of Dayton Simpson, not going to be able to get there, as these 4 drivers are all underneath a blanket. Cycling on back here, you got Kevin Hollywood Foster, Jimmy Covert, the 05 of Tim Thompson, and the 11 of John Crane. That's going to be your 4-car tandem right there. Behind them, you got Mark Parkhurst, Avi Vishwasam, Caleb Collins, Chris Hamilton, Paul Butler, Brandon Metler. Looked like Brandon Metler had a little bit of damage on that right front. Maybe it's just me and I was seeing things. Yeah, just me seeing things. His car is not damaged at all. Back up here to the race lead, you got a 5-car breakaway. And then you have a 4-car breakaway, starting with Jimmy Covert leading this pack. And if I was leading that pack, I'd want all those drivers to stay in line, push where you can, and catch that leading group. John Crane down on the inside, going to make it 3 for 1. Not going to be able to get there, as the outside has all the draft. So the top 5 are within earshot of each other. And then you got a 4-second gap back to 6th place. There's 10 laps to go. These drivers are going to do whatever they possibly can to make up some ground. But if they stay like this, fanned out 3-4 wide, they're not going to be able to catch the race leaders of Dave Tilford, Carl Hadwick, Dane Simpson, and Matt Crockett, along with John Obinger. So far, so good. 1 caution, which was for the stage. Jimmy Covert able to hold off Kevin Foster on that outside. Kevin Foster back out to the outside. Jimmy Covert going to go all the way down. Get with the 05 and the number 11. Back up front. Carl Hayward down to the inside. He's got a little bit of nose damage on the number 18. He's going to take the lead. Here comes Matt Crockett down to the inside. Slide a job from the number 10. He's not going to be able to get around Dave Tilford. Dave Tilford using the draft from Carl Hadwork on that outside. Carl Hadwork going to drop down low to pull Matt Crockett up alongside David Tilford. 8 laps to go here. They're going to maybe push 3 wide, and no, David Tilford backed out. But here comes Matt Crockett down to the inside of Carl Hadwork. As he's not going to be able to get it done. Matt Crockett slides up in front of Dane Simpson. John Obinger going to do the same thing. Single file for these top 5. Finally got it all figured out. Now going to stay in line as that gap is starting to shrink just a little bit more. Got it down to 4.3 seconds. It was at 4.8. So made up 4/10 in just a few laps. But they're going to have to make up pretty much a second a lap to get to that rear bumper of John Obinger. Carl Hadwick, Dave Tilford, Matt Crockett, top 3. And looking at the track map. Everybody's got their people who they're working with. Pretty much you got to use that because you're not going to be able to get anywhere without it. Carl Handwork to the outside. Dave Tilford down to the inside. Dave Tilford back to the lead. Here comes Matt Crockett. Matt Crockett is going to use a little bit of the draft, go down low, but he's not going to have any help. Do we see a 4 or 5 wide salute? As in 2 laps, the Kevin Foster, Jimmy Cover, Tim Thompson, and John Crane have made up a full second on the race leaders. I think they can get it done. It's just going to be spamming on or lap count may come into effect. Who wants the All-Star Season 9 win more? Matt Crockett down to the inside. He's got Dave Tilford on his outside. He's got Dane Simpson behind him. You got 3 cars on the outside, 2 on the bottom. Who's going to have the better momentum is going to be the outside. Move Dave Tilford in, Carl Handwork back out to the race one, number 1 and number 2. While these drivers are still jockeying to see where they want to be at on the track, that's allowing Kevin Foster to sort of close in the gap. As that gap has shrunk down to 3.1 seconds. Kevin Foster trying to do what he can to get up to the race leaders. But I just don't see it, as he has lost a little bit of time. 3.4 seconds now. Anything can happen though. 3 laps to go here at Auto Club. There's a bigger pack now as Mark Parkhurst and Chris Hamilton, Chris Hamilton. Okay, yeah, so you got 8 cars all underneath the blanket up here, and you got 4 cars or 5 cars up at the top. Now we have reached 3 to go. So Chris Hamilton leading that third pack as they could see the race leaders. I'm going to go ahead and go on aboard with the number 14 and just show you what Mr. Jimmy Covert is seeing as he goes for the race lead. Jimmy Covert going to slide up right in front of Kevin Foster. Kevin Foster is going to give Jimmy Covert a big shot. Going to go all the way down to the inside. And that race lead now down to 3.1 seconds once again. And now they're all fanned out here. The 11's got a little bit of damage on that right side. He's got to really turn that wheel to not get tight. Parkhurst almost gets into the side of the 05. Top 3 as it stands: Dave Tilford, Carl Handwork, Matt Crockett. Final lap here at Auto Club. Going to go ahead and go back up here to the race lead because this is where it's going to happen. Do we see a 5 wide salute? Dane Simpson trying to get to the outside of Carl Hayward. Carl Hayward's going to block the run. Here comes Dave Tilford. He's going to block the run from Carl Hayward. Carl Hayward's going to give him a shot. Dane Simpson going to go down to the inside, go way below the white line. Going to make Dave Tilford move up the racetrack. Dane Simpson to the point. For the final time, coming out of turn number 4, it's going to be Dane Simpson on the outside. Here comes Dave Tilford with Carl Hayward. And here they come. Dave Tilford's going to get the race win. John Obinger takes home P number 2, Carl Hayward in P number 3. And that's going to do it for the All-Star race. That was a wild finish, as second and third place were separated by .003. As we're going to go ahead and go back to a quick replay just to see how close it really was. Get the starter cam, maybe front stretch. You'll go ahead and do the front stretch here. You can't really see it all too well, but John Obinger and Matt Crockett using that inside lane to their advantage. And that was all that she ended up riding, as that was an absolute finish of the ages. We're going to go ahead and bring up our finishing results before we get our race top 3 in the broadcast booth. First will be Dave Tilford. Second will be John Obinger. Third, Carl Hayward. Fourth will be Dane Simpson. Fifth, Matt Crockett. Sixth, Mark Parker. Seventh, Caleb Collins. Eighth, Kevin Foster. Ninth, Jimmy Covert. 10th, Christopher Hamilton. 11th, John Crane. 12th, Abhi Vishwasam. 13th, Paul Butler. 14th, Brandon Mettler. 15th will be Tim Thompson, and rounding out your 16-car field will be Paul Owens. Going to go ahead and get our third place finisher in here tonight. It's going to be Carl Hayward in the number 18 machine. And Carl is still in the booth. Got a copy.
I got you, buddy.
All right. You got beat by .003 of a second by John Obinger. I don't even know where to start with this race. One is Kia's, an auto club, a lot of space, a lot of room. How was the racing from your point of view?
I was a little worried after watching the All-Star Open there. It got pretty hairy, got pretty sketchy, and the fact that we turned it around and ran this thing 40 laps green, that was awesome. So kudos to all the guys out here. That fantastic race, and the fact that this came down to a pit strategy race was kind of crazy, but it was fun. I mean, you could absolutely murder the back end of these cars, giggity implied, and they barely moved. I mean, I gave shots, I took shots, and it's just the back end will wiggle a little bit. That was about it. It was phenomenal when it comes to bump drafting, and no damage either. I mean, for how hard we were hitting, the fact that these things took no damage, and probably half the field, if not all of it, had a 0x. It was fun. I had no idea what was going to happen on that last lap. For some reason, it got a little tight into turn 1. I don't know if I just got some bad aero wash off the 12 when I went to the outside, or if Dane got in the back of me a little bit, but it just wanted to push up in 1. So I thought my chance was gone at that point. But when I seen Tilford just get a little bit of an edge to the outside of Dane, I went for the back end and pushed as hard as I could. Yeah, going through turn number 1, I could see you kind of get a little bit tight. You had Dane right there on your quarter panel, but not enough to get to your outside. He kind of, as he was moving up the track, you're moving up as well. So that kind of helped you going in down the backstretch into turn number 3. Like you said, David got to his outside. That kind of opened up that lane. And then all of a sudden, Obinger and Dane came up into you. You got Spinny Rooney all the way around the front stretch. But nonetheless, I mean, like you said, everybody pretty much had a 0x this whole race. A big turnaround from the open qualifier. And those funny as heck to watch. Just the absolute chaos that these cars could bring. And you would think
Kias, they're not that bad. You know, it's going to be a clean race. But
Listen.
there it is. You just seen it here tonight.
Everybody wants to whine. Everybody wants to complain about these weird little duos like this. Oh, it's going to suck. It's going to be super speedway racing. This was bleeping phenomenal, plain and simple. I had an absolute blast out here. It's been a while since I've gotten this close to win and had fun, but this was absolutely great.
Yeah, you know, now it makes me wish I was down there racing the All-Star race with you, because that looked like so much fun. I kept my incidents to myself, got a 0x, I get a pretty point boost for that. So either way, it's still fun to watch. It's always good to be up here rooting you guys on. You had a lot of guys out there in the chat. Barry going for you, and Kevin. Obviously, Kevin had a little mishap in the pit road, so he finished a little bit further back. So Barry, you got Carl up there in the top 3, so you kind of can't be too mad about it.
Yeah, I got close. At least he got no Foster out here, even though Foster was running the right paint scheme, but it wasn't showing up for some reason. But yeah, at least he got one of his guys up there. But I mean, it was an awesome finish for all 5 of us up there. I knew it was a good 3-4 car breakaway, and then I seen John come out, and he just barely got the draft. I'm like, all right, I'm fine with 5 as long as we can just break away from those other guys. And I mean, once we kind of just stuck together there a little bit, they weren't catching us.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to ask. Is like, did you want to try to stay in that snake line of formation to pull away from the leaders? Because the second group, because at one point you guys were up to about 5 seconds, then it dropped all the way down to 3, almost 2 seconds, and then it kind of opened back up, because it's like the second pack fell back to the third pack, and then they had 8 cars, but they never stayed in line. They wanted to fan out, be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wide, and that kind of evidently helped you guys have that little 5-car battle. But season 9.
I told David once we were drafting there for a while. I'm like, listen, no threat whatsoever. Don't worry about where I'm going with my lines. I'm just trying to get us the best runs as possible. No threat from me passing. I just want to break away from these guys unless I get a major run. And there was, I think, 1 or 2 times where he just kind of washed up more than I expected, and I just had a ridiculous run. So we just kind of swapped over there and then swapped back a little bit later. But yeah, it worked out nice. And I guess he was pretty much out of fuel after we crossed the line, and I think I might have had an extra lap to go, but that was probably because I was pushing him.
Yeah, you know, that's pretty much how it goes. You know, field strategy race came it down to kind of Tuesday night reminisce. You know, me and the trucks running out of fuel 1 lap short, and then, you know, kind of backing my way into a win over there. So, you know, it's always a great thing to have. Season 9 is officially over now with the All-Star race being done. Next up is the Driver Cup. That's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know what it is about the Drivers Cup. It's absolutely fun. Can't wait till that happens. And then Season 10 is right around the corner.
Yeah, Drivers Cup is going to be awesome. We got a ton of guys that are eligible. Hopefully we can get a good group of guys. I'm hoping we can get, you know, a good 50 guys, and we'll really have fun with it. We'll really stretch it out, and we'll make a bunch of teams if we have to. But yeah, four races on tap next weekend, next Sunday night, and it's just kind of like this one, just a fun little atmosphere. Nothing really on the line other than the the bragging rights for winning the Drivers Cup, and having your team get to the top there. But as of right now, again, hoping we get as many as possible. But the plan is the 5 Premier Series championship drivers are going to be the 5 captains, and then we'll see how it shakes out as far as how many people sign up.
All right, Carl, before I let you get on out of here, is there anybody on that number 18 machine you'd like to give a shout out to?
Just once again, thank these guys. Without these guys all season, there's no series. So thanks everybody to who came out here tonight and who showed up for the whole season. It was a fun season. Regardless if I took the Chris Hamilton bridesmaid for the championship here. It was still a fun season with these guys. Thank you for broadcasting this season, and from the sounds of it, season 10 coming up too. So not too far around the corner. Yeah, I mean, just looking forward to it already, and mainly looking forward to next week, because that's a fun event.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get out there and race in that. So we're gonna go ahead and let you get on out here, celebrate that third place finish here tonight, and we'll be talking to you here in a couple minutes after the broadcast.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, that's going to be our third place finisher of Carl Hayden. We're going to go ahead and move up to our second place finisher. That's going to be John Nobinger coming across the line, .003 of Carl Handwerk. And John, this dealer to the booth, got a copy.
Got a copy on you.
All right, John. Yeah, you played the fuel pit strategy to a T. You know, you, Chris Hamilton, I think it was Caleb Collins, and I forget the other fourth driver that came into pit lane with you. Kevin Foster. But you were able to get in and get out of pit lane better than those drivers. And you were able to latch on to the draft of Matt Crockett and make it a 5-car race for the race win here tonight, and just 2 spots short of getting that race win for the All-Star race.
Yeah, me getting in and out of pit road quickly is that's the biggest shock.
Yeah, I didn't know if Kevin Foster and Chris Hamilton had like a pit penalty or something, but they didn't. They were in pit lane for the longest time.
Yeah, I think they came out and they were about 3 seconds behind where I came out. And when I caught the draft, we had it up to 4, and then Crockett and Dane started battling around a little bit. I was like, just quit it. Let's push forward. Do this in 2 more laps when there's no chance of them catching up.
Yeah, you know, you did what you needed to do. You guys were able to link up, get together, try to push yourself away from that second pack, which ended up working. And then that final lap, you went down to the inside, snagged P3 or P2 away from Carl. And then, what were you going for the win there, or did you think that you didn't have enough of a run to get P number 1 away from Dave Tilford?
So I'd been playing around a few laps before, and I knew that if I went a little high in 1, I could get a nice run and dive in. And Crockett went low right by the time I started turning the wheel, and I scrubbed a little too much speed trying to get below him. And then I saw Dane come down. I hadn't cleared him yet, so I was like, well, I guess I'll push Dane to the win. And then Dane pushed up, get on the gas too early, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to take the low line. Maybe Crockett will push me. He did, just enough.
Yeah, Crockett giving you that nice little bit of a shove, propelling you past Carl Handwerk there. But, you know, Driver Cup next week, and then Season 10 of the Premier Series starts July 9th, starting out VA Supercars at Mount Panorama. So that's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to be up at the booth. You ain't got to worry about me. I'm going to be up at the booth. I'm looking at the schedule right now, and that schedule looks pretty freaking fire, if you ask me.
Yeah, there's definitely some races on there that will be interesting. That goes without saying.
Yeah. The only one that I'm really looking forward to is the obviously the IndyCar race. And then you also got where is it? I just seen it. The Dirt Legend at Crandon. That is going to be an absolute blast. I can't wait to see a little legend card on a jumpy truck course.
So we may have to rethink that, because I did some laps in Crandon in the trucks the other day, and they are radically different. I'm kind of curious if the legend may not be a little too grippy. It may be dangerous. We'll have to try that, though.
Well, we got time. It's okay. We got time. But, John, before we let you get on out of here, celebrate this second place victory, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Well, you know, obviously to Carl and everybody else that helps put on the league, and Dylan, you and the broadcast, taking time for your Sunday to do all this. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun. I enjoy it. So might as well just stick it up here for season number 10. And then hopefully later in the seasons, once, you know, Carl gets his 5th championship, wink, wink, Carl, next season, he can get back up here in the broadcast booth. I can get down there racing with you guys.
Yeah, the definitely be interesting, but be fun to catch you Tuesday night in the Trucks and ARCA for the last one for the season.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm kind of waiting for that one. It just it's Kansas. What can I say? So, but
Follow whatever Kevin does.
yeah, well, I got some tricks up my sleeve. I've been doing some testing, so I got some tricks up my sleeve. But John, we're gonna go ahead and let you get on out of here, celebrate that second place victory, and we'll be seeing you again here shortly.
Thanks a lot, Dylan.
All right, that's going to be our second place finisher of John Nobinger. Going to go ahead and move up to our race winner. That's going to be David Tilford in the number 12 Thrustmaster machine. David, this still in the booth. Got a copy.
I gotcha.
All right, so the common theme is with you, you're there, but you're not really there until it's the final lap, and then all of a sudden it's like that number 12 gets like some nitrous or something, and it's up towards the front.
Well, this one I was getting pushed along and holding the lead there for a while, and I just kind of figured I was going to get swallowed up at the end. But luck of the draw, I think Dane ran out of fuel and got the run to the outside with Carl pushing me, and yeah, that's all she wrote.
Yeah, you ended up having Carl Handwerk right behind you, giving you that nice big old push. You guys kind of swapped positions a couple different times throughout the race, but like he said in his interview, he said, no pressure from me. I got you. I'm going to push you all the way to it. And that's exactly what he did. He pushed you all the way to the checkered flag. It was enough to outlast the 44 of John Nobinger and Dane Simpson. Are we going to see that number 12 back here for season 10?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll be back for premiere on a season 10, and hopefully make it to the final round this time. A little bad luck this year, and I think I was really hoping to get there, but didn't turn out. So yeah, hoping next season will be the season where the 12 is fighting for the championship at the end.
Yeah, definitely going to be something fun. We got the Driver Cup next week, and that's going to be a lot of fun. No broadcast for that. I may do a POV stream. Talk to Carl and Jimmy, see if they'll let me get on that. See, just show them. Nobody ever really gets to see me race other than on Tuesdays or whatever. So, might as well see what I could do in the race car. So. Yeah, it's definitely going to be something fun. You've been around Core for quite a long time. You know how the Driver Cup works. It's a lot of fun to do, and it's definitely going to be a lot of fun to get back out there and race with everybody throughout, the GT series, the Premier series, the ARCA, the trucks, every series that Core brings on. It's definitely going to be fun to bring back all those drivers. So that's definitely going to be fun. So, yeah.
It's a good time.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun time. We're not going to be here for a long time. It's just going to be a short time. It's got to not get ahead of yourself. But, David, before I let you get on out of here, is there anybody on that number 12 machine you'd like to give a shout-out to?
Yeah, well, I got to thank my family, as usual, for putting up with me, spending some time, or quite a bit of time doing this thing, and it's a sacrifice, but they know I enjoy it. So shout out to them, and to all the guys, to Carl definitely for trusting in me that we could get there at the end in this race, and for the push at the end, and to you in the booth, and just everyone racing tonight.
All right, David, we're going to go ahead and let you get on out of here. And let you celebrate that win here tonight, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again next week.
Absolutely, we'll see you.
All right, that's going to do it for the broadcast here tonight. I want to give a big shout out to all the sponsors that come on board for CRN, W Energy, Core, Kelly Pointer Motorsports, with AMSOIL. I want to give y'all a big shout out for coming on board. This week on CRN, we have a lot to offer as John Nobinger and Caleb Collins will be back in the broadcast booth next week for championship night. Zach Roethlisberger has won the championship in both ARCA and trucks, so we are going to fight for P number 2 as the ARCA and trucks go to Kansas this Tuesday, so you definitely don't want to miss that. Wednesday night, you have the Chop Shop GT, as Carl Hadewerk will bring you the live coverage from that. UCRL on Tuesday as well with Carl Hadewerk and Jimmy Covert. Thursday night, no broadcast on Friday, or actually there is broadcast. Redline Racing will be back in action on a Friday night with Mark Thomas and Carl Handwerk. Saturday night, no more broadcast on Saturday night as we have not, we're no longer doing the National Sim Racing broadcast on that, so no more broadcast from that. And then Sunday night we have the Drivers' Cup, and then taking a little bit of a break and getting back to season number 10. And then we're back here on a Monday night with the Core GT Series. Can't wait for that. Go to see exactly what happens there. I'm not in it personally, but it's definitely going to be something fun. You can catch Terry Jensen and Carl Hadewerk in the broadcast booth. But that's going to do it for me up here in the broadcast booth. My name is Dylan for CRN. Make sure you guys take care. Brush your hair.